Hey guys, welcome to episode 8 of Monday Movement, and we're talking about elevated alternating toe taps. Now, elevated toe taps are something a little bit different. What we'd like to do here with Monday Movement is always find something around the house that can make you faster. So we could use stairs, we could use a curb outside, any of those things that's going to give you stability to be able to toe tap onto something that's about 6 inches high. A foot high would be fine too, depending on how tall you are and how high your waist is. But for beginners, 6 inches is plenty. In fact, you're not gonna put any weight on it per se, so it doesn't even have to be something really sturdy like a stair or a curb. We're using a type of curb in this video, and I forget what they're called. They're parking pediments or something like that. But we're using those in the videos here to kind of give you an example of what you can use. But anything around the house that you can toe tap on and keep your weight off of. Now, I would prefer something that you can't put your weight on because these are toe taps. So we are just touching and going. We are not putting all of our weight on it. This is not a step up. This is not any type of avenue where you're putting the weight on there. We're not trying to squish down on it. So what that means is we're gonna keep our balance in the middle. We're not gonna have the balance all the way on the back where we're just reaching the toes, okay? We want good balance, good forward lean, but we're just barely touching the top. Now, what do we do with that? Well, 1, we have to have good balance. 2, we gotta have good coordination. And 3, we've gotta have good speed to keep the legs moving. Now, how do we want a toe tap? I know it's called a toe tap, and I talked about this in my last video, but we don't want the toe to be down and touch and go. We want the ridge of the foot, and we talk about this almost every time I feel like. The ridge of the foot is touching, so I would like to call it a ridge tap, but people don't know what that means. So I'm gonna call it a ridge tap, just for our case here, and that's the ridge of the foot where the ball is. Now, when we do this, we wanna be very light, very quick. What do? We get our arms moving, and not just, we don't squeeze, okay? We just keep them at 90, and we're just gonna rub our ribs with our elbow. So if I stand up, we're gonna rub the ribs with the elbow right here. We're not gonna be way up here or way back here. There's no reason for that because we're just being quick with the feet, okay? So rubbing the ribs. You'll hear me say that a bunch in our videos. So rubbing the ribs, that's gonna give us balance, coordination, and stability. Now, with that being said, where do we want our body? We want a nice forward lean that's like a sprinter stance. So we talked about this a couple weeks ago. We don't wanna be back. We don't wanna be hunched forward. We want to be in a nice forward lean where we're using our lower abs and our arms to move the feet quickly. You're going to see in these videos a bunch of kids, they're beginners, a lot of them, and I just sprung this on them. I just said, hey, all right, we're going to do alternating elevated toe taps. And I showed them really quickly because I wanted them to have a plethora of different ways that they're going to do it. You'll see some that just have their arms kind of out for balance. That's because I've got an elevated pediment there. And when they have an elevated pediment there, then it adds a whole nother game because now they've got to balance and coordinate and they're scared a little bit because it's concrete. Well, they're not gonna fall, but it's just the idea that, oh man, what if I miss with my foot? And that's just because it's their first time. So take a look at these videos and see how you have a whole different, they've got different age groups, different athleticisms, and you see how each of them kind of does it really quickly here. Hey, after those videos, I'm sure you're like, man, well, I can do that. Well, yes, and those are not perfect, of course, but the idea is to look more like the last kid that was doing it. He was leaned a little bit too far back for me and doing more of a traditional toe tap as opposed to a ridge tap. So I would like for that to be better. One way you can do that, scoot up a little bit closer to it, okay? You don't need to be super far. A foot away from where you're actually gonna go, and we're just switching those feet as quick as we can with the balance and coordination that we talked about earlier. Guys, with proper speed skills, and this is one of those speed skills, speed kills. And without it, speed doesn't really exist very much. So if you want an added advantage to all the other athletes in your group or on your team or in the league, book a call with me because we can talk about a strategy session. It's totally free, absolutely free. and get your kid onto the right path. Now, if you're an athlete right now hearing this, talk to your parent. Be like, hey, let's book a call. Let's talk about it, because I don't do calls with just kids, and there's safety and legal reasons and all that. But most of all, if your parent's not on board, it's not going to take anyway. Okay, I've had some highly motivated athletes, young kids, book a call, and when I text them and call them and say, hey, all right, are we ready for our call? They say, yeah, I'm ready. And I said, all right, make sure your parents are on there. That, you know what they say? Parents, what do you mean? It's like, well, for this to work, your parents are going to have to be part of this call. And they're like, what? No way. What? I can do this on my own. And what they don't realize is we're a family here. Everybody has to be involved. This is not just a one-person show. This is not a young athlete and me going and getting after it. No, we're going to have a whole family involved. We're going to have everybody that wants to be involved to help motivate, encourage, and do it the right way. Because if you do it the right way, speed kills. I hope you've enjoyed this video today. Monday Movement is one of my favorites because we go through household ways to get faster, and most importantly, to give you something that you can do right now to make yourself the athlete that you want to be. Don't forget to book a call if you're interested in getting faster, and also be sure you like and subscribe to the channel. Guys, I love making these videos. I hope they're helpful. Comment down below which video you've liked so far in the Monday Movements, which episode, and I'll continue to shoot out more. Give me some comments about what you'd like to see maybe, or what you'd like to work on, and I can make those as well. Guys, proper speed skills, speed kills, and speed changes everything. Have a great one. Talk to you later. Bye.